Let's quickly talk about Credit Versio or Credit Versio. And it's a great company that just, they're relatively new. And into this conversation, I really want to go in depth and really go granular and give you all the ins and outs of Credit Versio credit repair software. So basically, when you think about Credit Versio or Versio, it's really a hands-on credit repair solution for disputing negative items on your credit reports. So if you have a dozen or more negative accounts affecting your credit reports and you want a low-cost, hands-on opportunity to repair your credit yourself, then you might be an ideal candidate, for Credit Versio. What is my point here? My point is that Credit Versio is a DIY option. It's a DIY solution. So, if you don't like DIY, just go to Lexington Law, go to Credit Glory, the Credit Pros. Go to those companies. They'll handle everything for you. But if you want to do things yourself, if you want to take care of things yourself, then go with Credit Versio. What we love about Credit Versio is that it is actually a newer credit repair company that actually has an angle in terms of they have a very innovative angle when it comes to using AI and other technology to help you out in terms of getting things done ASAP. And it is a real company, by the way, because we hear a lot of folks talking about Credit Versio is a scam. It's not a scam, okay? Credit Versio is kind of cool. It's kind of it's a real legit business, and it's basically an automated credit repair program and credit monitoring service via a third-party vendor. So the online tools provided by Credit Versio are designed to help you dispute and manage credit issues, monitor your credit, and overall repair and improve your credit over time. And so Credit Versio will actually pull the info from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So this is kind of cool. And Credit Versio as a software will help you, will actually guide you on how to write an auto-generating dispute letter to send to your creditor. So you basically have all the help you need. You'll have to print and mail the letters yourself, though, which means paying for postage. But hey, listen, postage is not a big deal here. I mean, if you're thinking about how much all the other players are charging, I mean, paying like a 20 or 30 or $1 to a USPS is not a big deal. So overall, one thing I want you to remember here is that when we talk about Credit Versio, we're speaking about a DIY tool. Okay, it's a DIY tool that really helps you restore your credit on your own. So when you think about the value that Credit Versio adds to the whole equation here is that Credit Versio does a lot of things automatically on your behalf, and there are a lot of modules, a lot of capabilities embedded in this software. For example, so Credit Versio is basically an automated system that connects you directly to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So you have your credit profiles directly through Credit Versio. So once this information appears in your Credit Versio dashboard, you can dispute one or more negative items. You can dispute inquiries, late payments, charge-offs, collections, foreclosures, repossessions, student loans, and bankruptcies. So you can see that basically you have a constellation of AI-driven tools that can identify up to 20 different types of negative accounts, what we call derogatory items. So those derogatory items are the ones that are really reducing your credit score, and Credit Versio will help you sort of clean those so that your credit score can go back up. So not only does the Credit Versio dashboard display all of your negative accounts, but you can also drill down into each of them to see why the account is considered a negative item. And the dashboard report might even reveal how late a payment is or some other detail about the derogatory nature of the negative item. So at the bottom of this screen, you'll also see a recommended dispute strategy, which is really good because Credit Versio, see, the whole thing is because you're doing things DIY, doesn't mean that Credit Versio is not helping you out. They are all along giving you advice and telling you what to do. Okay, and one thing I love also is that even though you're doing things yourself, you are able to monitor if this is the right action or not. And so you have a lot of capabilities that are in Credit Versio that can help you create a letter from a template to address a derogatory item and automatically insert the reason why the account should be deleted. And the tool will include all pertinent account information and place it in the format the credit bureaus prefer. And Credit Versio's tool will email your dispute letters to you, which you will then print and mail to each credit bureau yourself. So this is kind of cool. And so once you start disputing accounts, Credit Versio's tool displays monthly updates regarding your score and credit status. If a dispute is unsuccessful, the tool can evaluate the situation and suggest another strategic dispute method. So you are always covered here. This is really good. Now, in terms of pricing, I'll talk about the pricing later on. But you have like for the basic pricing, you're paying about $20 a month. For the premium, you're paying about $25 a month, and for Identity IQ, you're paying about $30 a month. Okay, and so this is the basic overview of this. Now I want to talk to you about the pros and cons. So Credit Versio is a great tool, of course, but it's not a perfect tool. So I first want to start with the pros. So Credit Versio is very affordable. When you think about $20 and you compare that to a $79 that the other players are charging, like $79 and $99, $100 that they're charging, this is crazy. It's very, very, very cheap. Makes sense. It's DIY. So you probably won't find a cheaper option for a credit repair company. In fact, after you pay for a third-party credit monitoring service, Credit Versio itself is free. You can get started ASAP. Often you'll need to wait at least a day or two or three or five before someone sits down to create a credit repair plan. But with Credit Versio's DIY approach, you can get the ball rolling in just a few minutes. And the software has an easy-to-use, intuitive interface. So in terms of UI and UX, fantastic. And Credit Versio's online portal offers a smooth experience that makes it a lot easy to see where you are at now, what needs to be done, and what improvements you have already made. And it's very easy to set up. You have customizable templates. You have a DIY credit repair software that is backed by an AI-powered tool. You have multiple packages based on your budget. You have lower price credit repair options compared to other credit repair players out there. What about the cons? Well, in terms of the thing is, Credit Versio is kind of new, right? So you have a short track record. It's not a very old, like they haven't been around for a while, so you can't really like compare them to the other players in the industry. And so it requires you to send letters yourself. So typically, credit repair is a handoff service where someone else does all the work for you. That's not the case with Credit Versio. You'll need to take a more active role in things, including printing and mailing your own credit dispute letters that the company helps you create. And it may not have a money back guarantee. So Credit Versio doesn't charge for its services, but you will need to purchase a subscription to either Identity IQ or Smart Credit. And Smart Credit offers a limited money back guarantee, but Identity IQ does not. And so with Credit Versio, there's no hand-holding from a live credit analyst, right? Because since Credit Versio is a software program, not a team of live experts, you will not have much, if any, interaction with a live person. Its program and educational materials are very good though, but if you really need one-on-one interaction with a human, this will not be a good option for you. So you need to remember, you need to physically mail the dispute letters. And if you use Credit Versio, you do need to have a certain level of credit repair knowledge. And Credit Versio is a new company, so this is what it is. So think about that. Those are things you need to think about beforehand. But if you have any question though, you can contact the company during regular office hours at 702-930-3903, 702-930-3903, or you can email them at support@creditversio.com. I want to dig a little deeper here. I want to talk about the services. So what services does Credit Versio provide? So you have a clear idea, because I want you to have a clear idea about everything that Credit Versio does, okay? And one thing I want to say here is that you have, with Credit Versio, you have software-driven credit analysis, you have credit disputes, you have credit education, you have credit monitoring, and you have identity theft insurance. So when you talk about software-driven credit analysis, after you sign up, Credit Versio uses either Identity IQ or Smart Credit to immediately pull your credit reports from each of the 3 credit bureaus. It then imports them into its software program, where it scans for different types of errors, such as duplicate listings or fraudulent activity. And so when we talk about credit disputes, this is actually the heart of Credit Versio's approach. So basically when it comes to guiding you through the process of setting your own credit dispute. So once you identify an error that needs to be corrected, Credit Versio will guide you through the process of auto-generating a dispute letter. And you can select a reason for the dispute from a drop-down list or use a custom field to enter your own wording. And Credit Versio then emails you the letter and you print and send it off. So the program monitors your credit reports to see whether the letter has had any effect, and if it did, it may be reflected in a credit score increase. If it does not go up, The program will keep suggesting alternative strategies until you are successful in removing the negative mark. So you can see that you do a lot of work yourself. Like, if you don't like this sort of formula, then you need to maybe think about another strategy, because you'll be doing a lot of stuff. Of course, you do a lot of stuff based on recommendations and guidance from Credit Versio, but you are the one in the kitchen. You are actually adding all the ingredients together, and you are the one cooking this dish. Okay, it's not a team of experts. It's not a team of like a team of outside experts doing the work for you. No, you're doing the things yourself. So if you like the DIY approach, that's kind of cool. Not a problem at all. Okay. Now, one thing you need to understand here is that if you have many items, you need to dispute the letter generation that you get from Credit Versio can save you some time, because you really have like a template that's ready made, but you need to actually do things yourself. Just think about that. Now, the DIY approach to credit repair gives you greater control over the credit repair process compared to hiring a credit repair company, and the cost is much lower, right? But the downside is that the DIY approach requires you to not only do some of the work, but also know a decent amount about credit to ensure that your actions will help you and not hurt you. So, it is what it is. Let me talk about the features. So when we talk about Credit Versio, what are the features you need to pay attention to? Now, Credit Versio is really a free add-on service to other companies that you actually pay for. So you need to spend a fair amount of time scoping out those companies too. Okay. And so notably, neither Smart Credit nor Identity IQ offers a free trial, although Identity IQ does offer a 7-day trial for just $1. And the downside is that it doesn't offer any form of money-back guarantee, and Smart Credit may offer this in limited circumstances only if you ask for a refund prior to your second bill, according to its service terms. So using credit, like if you use a Credit Versio's dispute letter generator, you can, in theory, dispute all the negative information on your credit reports that is damaging your credit score. Remember that disputes are not always successful, so if an account is legitimate and does not contain errors, a credit bureau has no obligation to remove it. So to set up Credit Versio, I've just established the fact that Credit Versio works closely with partners Smart Credit and Identity IQ. So both of which are identity theft monitoring services. So if you already have, let's say, an Identity IQ or a Smart Credit account, go straight to step 3. If not, go through the entire process. So what is step 1? You need to select the credit monitoring package you want. So Credit Versio offers 3 options. Number 2, you want to enter your information. So you want to verify your identity and specify a payment method to complete your credit monitoring account setup. Then step 3, you want to, using your credit monitoring account information, Credit Versio will link to your credit reports for all three bureaus. It's kind of cool. And so if you already have an Identity IQ subscription, but not the Secure Max plan, you will need to upgrade at this time. And step number 4, Credit Versio will analyze all 3 reports, look for any information accounts that is negatively impacting your credit, and flag this account or information. So this is kind of cool. So to file a dispute, it's pretty straightforward. You need to select the create a dispute option on your dashboard and follow through the prompts. Now you can cancel your subscription at any time, not a problem. And also in some cases, you can actually avail yourself of other features offered by Credit Versio depending on your needs. Like for example, you have $1 million in identity theft insurance. You have $25,000 for identity protection of your children. You have monitoring of all 3 credit bureaus. You have monthly report and score updates, enhanced credit monitoring. So this is like a series of daily TransUnion checks, daily web monitoring, access to a credit score simulator. So this is kind of cool for folks who really need that kind of service. But honestly, you don't need it. But this is just a way for Credit Versio to make extra cash, to generate extra revenue. But if you really need that, okay. But if not, you really, really don't want to spend extra cash on that. I want to talk a little bit about pricing here, because when we talk about Credit Versio, remember I said to you that basically you have 3 plans, right? But remember that Credit Versio partners with credit monitoring services to give you as a customer credit repair tools. So because of this, you'll need to sign up for either Smart Credit or Identity IQ's credit monitoring service to use Credit Versio's services. You can do this directly through Credit Versio's website. Okay, that's not a problem at all. And so it's just one of those things you have to be clear about what you want. So for the Smart, so there are three plans with Credit Versio's. So you have the Smart Credit Basic, the Smart Credit Premium, and the Identity IQ. So for the Smart Credit Basic, you will have to pay $20 a month. For the Smart Credit Premium, you have to pay $25 a month. And for Identity IQ, you have to pay $30 a month. So if you already have, let's say, if you already have a Smart Credit Basic or Premium account, then Credit Versio is 100% free. And but if you have, like, the thing is, if you have an Identity IQ account, you will need to upgrade to Max if you don't already have it, in order to use Credit Versio's platform. So this is what it is. Now, Credit Versio doesn't require you to sign any contract. As long as you continue paying for the required third-party credit monitoring, you will have access to Credit Versio. And this credit monitoring services, in turn, also don't have any minimum contract requirements and allow you to cancel at any time. So we love the flexibility. Okay, like nobody's forcing you or whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can choose whatever you want. That's kind of cool. And I love the fact that you have the option to upgrade or downgrade based on your needs. You know, life is not a linear journey. Things happen, and maybe things go low down, so you need extra help, or things go up and you need less help. So you'll be able to, if you want to go with Credit Versio, you can actually model your subscription based on your needs. It's all about your needs, all about your credit restoration needs. So the bottom line here is that, is Credit Versio worth it? Yes. If you have a dozen or more negative accounts affecting your credit reports and you want a low-cost, hands-on opportunity to repair your credit yourself, because it's a DIY option, then you might be an ideal candidate for Credit Versio. But again, this software is not for everyone. If you don't really understand credit and how disputes work, in that case, it might be better to hire let's say a full-service credit repair company. Okay, this is what it is. Let me close to this conversation by talking about the rivals. So when we talk about Credit Versio, you have a lot of competitors out there, and I wanted to compare and contrast Credit Versio to the Credit Pros and Credit Life. Now, the Credit Pros, this is like a full service credit repair company that'll take care of you, not a problem at all. So in terms of services offered, Credit Versio, you have credit repair, credit monitoring, identity theft insurance, credit disputes. For the Credit Pros, you have credit repair, credit monitoring, credit dispute that they take care of things for you. For Credit Life, you have credit repair, credit monitoring, identity theft insurance, and so you have credit disputes. So they actually handle things on your behalf also. And in terms of the maximum number of monthly disputes, with all those three players, you have unlimited. So there's no limit here. You can rely on their services to take care of business, not a problem. In terms of letters to creditors and bureaus, Credit Versio will only help you with credit disputes. Same thing for the Credit Pros. For Credit Life, you have more help, if you will. You have debt validation, debt disputes, letters for derogatory information. You have goodwill removal request. You have cease and desist. This is kind of cool. And in terms of the first work fee, for Credit Versio, there's none because it is a DIY thing. You know, there's no first work when you're doing things yourself. Maybe you're paying yourself. For the Credit Pros, it's $119. For Credit Life, it's $21.99. So you can see the delta here, that the Credit Pros charges a lot more. What about the minimum monthly fee? For the Credit Pros, you're paying like a $19.95. For the Credit Pros, for Credit Versio, you're paying $19.95. For the Credit Pros, you're paying $69. For Credit Life, you're paying $135. So even though the first work fee is lower for Credit Life, the minimum monthly fee is higher. Okay, $135 versus $69 for the Credit Pros and $20 for the Credit Versio. What about customer service platforms? With Credit Versio, you have phone and email. For the Credit Pros, you have phone, email, and live chat. For Credit Life, you only have a phone and email. So this is kind of Now, if you want to choose a credit repair company, you have to pay attention to your needs, to the amount of work required. Like, you have to pay attention to the potential fees, the try before you buy or money back guarantee, and the telltale signs of a credit repair scam. Like, you got to really do a lot of digging, a lot of research, read reviews, and make sure, like, watch shows like this to make sure you have a legit company.